in my country, we are totally under the control of the Freemasonic, Jesuit orders and Zionist agenda, like you are also here. You can recognize because that this is Washington, but this is Buenos Aires. We have the Eyes of Horus when you see from the top in the principal capital city. We have the obelisk, and this is my city. My city is is exactly equal to Washington. In fact, it's one of the most Masonic cities in my country. So I have to live with, a lot of symbolic every day that when I walk around my city. So, of course, there is a symbolic meaning behind the obelisk, and that is why they use now to try to penetrate the Mother Earth, the Osiris fault. That is the symbolic thing why they use this kind of rockets. It's all about the worship in the sun. I have in my city, I have an observatory, a planetary, and of course the Jesuit orders, present all the day. In fact, the thing came also, for example, the police guys in the Buenos Aires uses symbols like the Aleister Crowley Lodge and things like that, and of course nobody understands why they use this kind of laws. We have the most Jesuit person in the world, which is the Pope, and this is the Pope when he was young, using a Black Sabbath, Black Saturday T-shirts. So you can see the background of this guy. In my city, we have the museum. Of course, the museum is also running by Jesuit. They preach like Darwin, they are putting on the walls, and of course they have when you enter to the museum, you have all the culture to Egyptians, culture Egyptians. So you have present in every aspect of the life, and of course we have lodge, Masonic lodge, and the funny thing is when you enter into the Masonic lodge, they asking for faith to science, which is in their own lima, or the own words inside. This is a big picture of this part of the image, and here it says faith in science. And when you start to research, you understand why they put faith in everything that present us, because it's the only way you can believe it, this kind of thing. So that is why they ask for the initiations to pay faith. And when you start to research, you come across that every hero in the science history is all Masonic, everyone. There is no even one. Of course, this kind of guy never exists, that are fairy tale stories, but the people that maybe exist, they don't even have the real name. For example, Newton is a symbolic name to new aton, which means new sun. And that is why he used names like Isaac, because it's the action of Isis for the new sun. So when you're starting to research, all the names have a symbolic meaning. I don't have time to go each one, but you can see how they use the symbol in every aspect. Of course, the NASA guys, I think they are the most experts in do all kind of stuff with involve symbolic things, right? And yeah, here we have the extreme symbolic thing with the Baphomet tattoos in his arm. So the NASA is full of this kind of symbolic things. So, for example, this is a guy of an astronaut from Brazil, and he's also in Masonic Lodge. Of course, everyone see how they loud of us, no? The mocking. They even have they have also the patents and the credentials to be Masonic. So there's nothing new on that kind of thing. But when you start to see, for example, the supposedly real scientists, you start to notice that they are all founded by Jesuits and by Jewish people, bankers. And if you go back in time, you're going to see that the Jesuit order at the beginning of the 15th century also was founded by the Orsini, the Medici. So it's all the same. It's a fractal of the past in our days. And of course, when you, for example, start to understand that the Big Bang Theory is not created by a science, but is created by the priest, you need to ask yourself what's going on here, because if I'm going to go to the science, why is all the time intervened by religious people? So you start to realize that even Einstein could detect that the Earth is moving. No one, because of course it's not moving. That is why they can detect it, but there is nothing new also in that. And of course they have, for example, this is a wall in European Agency Space. So you can see how all this connection goes really deep. We have Jean-Luc Picard with Werner von Braun. Before they say, okay, this is the limit, the sky is the limit. And you can see the connection with the Disney family, and today the Disney family is Pixar, so they make a lot of computer animation. And then, for example, the books that they sell to the young people in the 50s is the same that they sell today. So it's a fractal all the time. You can see how they mock us all the time with the Disney face in everywhere. And of course they have the Walt Disney educational media company. So that is a little strange. You can see, for example, in the beginning of the 60s, how they prepared the community to accept the moon landing, and how Monsanto is in conjunction with Walt Disney creating the Inner Space Adventure. For example, this is totally brainwashed. There are a lot of videos speaking with that. Of course, in that time, Disney History Institute, no educational media center. Even some kind of other programming, Julio Verne, which is a Masonic guy, he prepared the people for accepting the dinosaurs, the earth, the core of the earth, the moon landing, and a lot of other things. But in his book, he used a flat horizon, you know. A little strange, my friend. Sorry, because some slides I don't have time to translate, so you're going to learn a little bit of Spanish in real time. So we have also, we can see also, for example, the rituals inside the founder of NASA, like Jack Parsons. They don't even hide. Wikipedia himself tell us that he was an Ordo Templis Orientis, which is a disciple of Aleister Crowley. They make pornography about the rockets, because that is very useful to enter inside the mind using feelings. So sexual feeling is a very powerful feeling to brainwash. And when we talk about that NASA have actors participating inside the space, not the engineering outside that work in other kind of stuff, it's because they are really actors. They even have credentials like actors. No, it's not a show. They are really actors. And of course, they have also strange acting, because they like to dress like a Jesuit sometimes. They use pre-programming, characters. So this kind of stuff is really, it goes really deep to trying to brainwash us. And when you're trying to find some real scientists on the media television, you also notice that they are actors, because they are actors. So you can see how the clothes that they use has also symbolic symbols, worshiping the sun. And for example, something that caught my attention was in this clip of the Curiosity landing. Look at that technology, it's amazing. And you can see here this guy. This guy, when I see this guy the first time, I say, hey, this is Snowden? It's real Snowden? So I don't know, I can't tell you, yes, 100% he's Snowden, but he's really have that the similarity. So maybe he's also an actor. That is why Russia never, Russia and the United States, a friend in space with China, In Antarctica and the space, there is no war. A real strange thing. So, of course, they are all controlling by the media. These are channels, broadcasting channel of my country, and also they use the 666, the Eye, the Sun, the Jesuit Sun, etc., etc., etc. And of course, they have that important because the nervous system manipulation is controlling by the electromagnetic field, which is a monitor. And look, the face of that woman is very happy, seeing the monitor there. So they have, all planning. And for example, this is the history of astronautic in Argentina. You can see the checkerboard Masonic. You can see the Jesuit in the beginning of the 60s. What the fuck are he's doing there? it's a really strange thing, right? Because, and all the kind of, independence investigation about the aerospace was finished in the beginning of the 90s by the President Menem, because the Terrence Todman, the ambassador from America, come to my country and say, okay, you're going to close your agency space and we're going to help you. And that is why we mock him. In fact, the Menem was the first guy to propose what Elon Musk is proposing today, a flight that, in 4 hours you can be in any part of the world because underneath the Earth is rotating. So that was the Todman was said to my president at that time, and this president was selling all Argentina, really crazy. And of course, we have our satellites here, for example, and we need to pay $260 million to repair in the 90s. So I think someone goes up in the space, take the satellite, go down, repair, and then put it back again. But we pay. So there you can see a little bit of the kind of stuff that how.